in. And what will the trollish old man say this time around? The chest is a secret to everybody. Oh, nice. So inside the first chest we find a blue rupee.
Blue rupee.
Oh, rupees. You just stole the uncle's life savings.
That's it's not much of a 401k, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. He needs to have a greater nest egg. But then again, that's probably why he gets himself stuck here in this next cave. He doesn't have enough money for the doctor's bill. And I don't know what Link's uncle does for work. I mean, we never get the backstory about it. We just know that he just lays right there. Link just steals his sword and runs away. While the guards here just care nothing about Link's presence, runs right in front of Eunos and was guarding all of 50 rupees. So off to Hyrule Castle we go. Oh, Dan gets the first bomb drop of this run. Very important. You guys already know. We've done... How many races have we done of this now?
Too many to count.
This is the escape. You go down, you get Zelda, you bring her up to the sewers, you try to get a bomb for the escape, blah, blah, blah. We have a timer on Eunos' end, so now we can get him paused for synchronicity too. So, all the good stuff, all the things that come into play here, you know. All three of the runners now with bombs in hands.
Yep, the bomb upgrade in that chest. If you get a 5 bomb capacity upgrade, you actually get 1 bomb. And if you get a 10 capacity upgrade, you get 2. So everyone should have a bomb be set for the later portion of escape.
And that's something that these runners, if they were doing the new logic, would not be able to take advantage of.
It'd be much less likely. Well, I guess the bomb capacity, yes, but just the getting bombs in escape in general, unless you get a bomb chest, is pretty unlikely.
So blah blah and all that other stuff. Like I said, we've been through this enough times. We know how this goes. So the question is why isn't Link soaking wet right now? Did he run enough that he's now worn off the effects of the rain outdoors?
He was only out there for a little bit. He wasn't getting too wet.
Now that he's got a sword, now that he's got everything else set to go, Eunos has the unfortunate disadvantage of having a guard chasing after him, and he's got to be careful. So he's going to opt to go with the safety strat here, grab another pop. Boots. Oh, well, we're going to have a faster escape now.
Boots and escape is always a little weird because you never expect it, so just movement through some of the rooms is a little weird. So you don't really know when to dash, when not to dash.
Yep, so this now also removes the necessity for bombs leaving escape too.
Yeah, we'll let them preserve their bomb and use it in their Kakariko or Southern Hyrule searches. It'll be good. You need to open every bombable wall, and you need 5 bombs if you have boots in Kakariko and Southern Dark World or Southern Hyrule.
Yeah, let's not get ahead of yourselves here. Dark World already? What, have you been looking at the logic? Are they going to get the Titan's Mitt and the Moon Pearl coming up in Kakariko Village?
I mean, I've seen crazier things.
Yeah, so have I. We've got a whole entire clip page filled with those weird things. Including a foreign lettered name streamer who picked up the pedestal for magic powder.
Just the best 10 arrows I ever got, right?
People asking if we could skip past the Pens series. We might as well date this broadcast by mentioning some hockey references.
Oh man. Well, I just sweated out a 1-in-8 series with my Capitals finally winning in 6.
Yeah, we found Sanctuary Heart already, which is unfortunate when you only have 3 hearts to get your 4th. And in Escape, we find rupees, and Moon Pearl.
Money and
well,
Moon
that's
Pearl.
half of the story. That's definitely half the story right there. And Eunos and Myria will be picking him up really soon. And I could make some other sports references here, but nah, we're here to talk about a race between these 3 players. At this stage, with enough rupees in hand, they're going to go Kakariko Village. Dan opening up the map.
Opening up the map. Let's see if anyone else decides to skip that chest, if they've been paying attention or not.
Well, Eunos didn't keep track. He picks up the map as well.
And so does Myriachan.
Yep, that's sometimes where it's important to know what your guarantees are in the dungeon. If you figure it out, oh, the map is still in my pool, that could come into play. A heart container inside the dash cave. All 3 of these guys are going to check that right now.
Yeah, everyone remembering that this is a location that you need boots for, so making sure nothing good is there.
Any bets of whether or not Aga is going to be required?
I'm gonna say no, but hope for yes. Ooh, Dan leaving 40 rupees behind from the tree pole. That's surprising.
Yeah. Hopefully that doesn't come back to haunt him later on, and we find out what the item in the tree is. It is 50 rupees. That we know of, Aga is not required, but it's still a possibility later on.
Eunos also opted to not pull the tree, so he's missing out on that free money.
Miri's the only one who grabbed all 80 rupees off that tree.
Heart piece at the mushroom location. Don't need that.
And Dan doesn't need any heart. And Eunos says the same thing. Oh, the mirror! Are you kidding me?
It's a pretty solid early game item so far. Mirror and Moon Pearl.
Are you joking me? We've already got the mirror. We've got the Moon Pearl. I mean, Kakariko Village might as well just give them the Titan's Mint now. Very opting to grab the piece of heart, the only one of the 3 who did. And Dan adding to the bonk number already.
Alright, so five chests in here. There's another 5 in the well. Ooh, ether.
Ether, the bottle, so they don't know they can grab the sick kid.
The only other thing they could even hope to find here is the flute. That would make them able to get every Kakariko item location besides the well right now. Or besides the half magic well, I mean.
Haven't seen him have many of these runners so far, but we probably won't until we get done with Kakariko Village. Red mail. Okay. Another heart container. My goodness.
I'm a big fan of getting all the rupee pots in Kakariko this early because rupees are always nice to have. So I get all 6 of the 5 rupee pots in the greenhouse and all 5 of them in here. But
bad ripoff there. 100 rupees yields you 20.
Let's see what Sick Kid has to offer. Bombs.
That's why he's sick. He's been handling those explosive devices.
More bombs from bar bottles. So they're pretty set on bombs.
Yeah, they don't have to worry about getting some more bombs when they head on over to check the chicken coop.
No chicken clip for Dan. Eunos doesn't go
Yeah,
for
he
it.
tried his best. He tried his best. He couldn't pull it off.
Ooh, and Miria opting to buy bombs before checking the 2 locations there. She's going to be sorely disappointed. She'll have a lot of bombs, but she...
Oh, Dan grabbing the kid there for the text box.
Oh, and talking to him a second time. That is something.
And Eunos, where is he going?
I don't know.
Ooh, hook shot in the library.
Man, this seed's looking pretty good so far.
Just give these guys the power glove, all right? You've kind of already pushed them on the Death Mountain every way possible. Oh, there's the Titans, man! Are you kidding me?
Unbelievable.
Oh my god!
This seed is actually crazy.
Titans, man!
This is the sub 1 right here.
Moon Pearl. Hook shot. Jeez, game.
This is something.
And meanwhile, we have yet to see what dungeons we need to do in the light world, but it really doesn't matter at this point in time. Just about everything is accessible to these guys except for anything that's blocked by a hammer. Like, this is going to come down to who gets lucky more than anything else, because there's just so many places these guys can go.
Alright, so here we have a route deviation.
I think Eunos is planning now to head on over to the Dark World the way he's going about this.
So Dan going to check King's Tomb. And it looks like Eunos might... Oh no, Eunos is going straight to Dark World Kakariko.
Yeah. Like, the way the items have been handed out to these players outgoes any sense of a regular routing. So we're not even going to see what's on the South Shore at this moment. There's just so many options these guys can go on. They can go to Death Mountain, they can go to South Shore, they can go to Dark World, as we're seeing on Eunos' end.
It's like Dan and Miria are both going to be heading up to Dark World now. Or Death Mountain now. To check out the juicy East Side Death Mountain with the like 14 chest locations or something like that.
Yeah, they've got a lot of options right now, and I think it comes down to a lot of luck of who makes that right path choice here. We don't know who's going to make the right choice until we go through here. Like, you can completely take care of the Village of Outcasts right now based on the items, with the exception of what's hiding behind the big chest in Thieves Town. Oh, did I see all 3 crystals in the Light World? Oh, the Book of Medora from the old man.
Not a bad find.
And at 13 minutes, it just seems strange we're on the actual frog tour already.
Yeah, it's pretty early. With the mirror and the Moon Pearl, I probably would have opted to check Dark World Death Mountain first.
Flippers on Spectacle Rock!
And Tempered Sword in Spectacle Rock. What is this seed? It's actually...
I'm out of here! I'm out of here! This was not my contract.
This is pretty crazy. So this decision by Eunos to go Dark World early might not pay off.
Swamp, Thieves Town, Skullwoods,
Boomerang,
Pendant.
the regular gloves. You got the magic cape. Heart container, and the shovel. Those items are just everywhere.
And Miria now going to grab herself a tempered sword. I think it's safe to say Aghanim 1 is not going to be required this seed.
Yeah.
Okay, what next are we gonna give these runners? Are we gonna give them the silvers and the bow and arrow in the same cave?
Let's hope not. Let's hope for a little bit of searching.
We are now opting to get ready to do the eastern side of Death Mountain via the hook shot, and Dan's going to go into the spiral cave, and it looks like Eunos is getting ready to take care of the remaining part of this chest tour. And probably will find the ice rod for all that matters right now.
So now, if Eunos had gone to Death Mountain first and then done this, he would have had the book and a better sword to check Bombo's tablet while he was here as well. But he doesn't, so he's gonna opt to go check Hype Cave and then probably mirror and go to Death Mountain. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't do that after this.
And he's gonna go check the Dark World Hype Cave, because why not? It's 16 minutes in.
I guess I could see him mirroring after this as well, and then checking Southern Hyrule. With the Moldorm Cave and the swamp area.
That'd be actually really good routing here. Another bottle with red goo in it. Hammer! Good night!
Wow. This seed is incredible.
This is the kind of seed that most runners would love to have, and I think... Oh, never mind. He has the mirror. And there's the Cane of Samaria.
Everything is in... Oh my goodness. Not sure where Eunos is going at the moment. He might have forgotten... I don't know if he checked Stump Kid or not. It looks like he's mirroring now.
And now we're going to go ahead and find out what dungeons Dan needs to be here in the Dark World. Let's go ahead and just take care of Hookshot Cave. Arrow increase, of course. Blue mail.
There's the blue mail that they don't need.
There's the lantern.
I swear. Is Turtle Rock required in this seed?
Yes, it is. It was Thieves Town, Skullwoods, and Swamp Palace, I believe, were your pendants.
Okay, so they need fire and ice rod and the bow.
Yep.
And that's it.
Okay, so who in this chat wishes that this was the seed they got when they actually played in their tournament races? Seriously. You know, it's getting the book.
Oh, they need the flute as well with Misery Mire. So they need 4 items still.
18 minutes in.
Well, some of them still have to check Dark World, but we know where everything is but 4 items. So Dan coming in here, he's got a fire source. There's the oh, there's the bow, just chilling in Hera. No problem.
The bow. The freaking bow.
This is ridiculous. Alright, so here comes Eunos with the Tempered Sword.
Okay.
You should be getting flippers as well soon.
Let's just give them the silver arrows now. Let's just go ahead and just settle this right now. I can't believe this seed. I really can't believe this seed. And the amazing thing here is we still have plenty of items here that these guys could find. And I missed what Myria found for the medallion needed for Turtle Rock. And Flippers picked up here for Eunos, which we know is going to be required. Well, we don't know if that's going to be required. Swamp was a pendant.
Ice Palace. I guess they don't need the flippers, but logic would require them.
Oh, right. There's
the flutes! Wow. Oh my god.
Okay, watching
I'm
this,
actually crying right now.
same here. Okay. What are you gonna give these guys, Bouldern?
Oh.
There's Eunos getting the bow.
So Dan doesn't have the tempered sword or the hammer yet, so he's gotta do a normal no major glitches Moldorm fight.
Well, there's still a chance, although be it a small one, that we could use a pedestal required. I think it's about a non-zero chance, and there's the kill for Dan.
Dan went up to Hera via mirroring on the eastern Dark World Death Mountain, so he didn't actually check. He hasn't checked Spectacle Rock or Spectacle Rock Cave yet, so he'll be seeing those items right when he leaves.
Yep. Did we find both items in here?
I guess so, because Dan is leaving.
Yep, and I think we'll see it in Eunos' end, I'm sure. Yeah, bombs was the second item. And Miria grabbing the flute. She's about to go grab the bow. Dan grabbing the flippers.
Did Dan get the medallion tablet? Oh, he didn't have the better sword yet. So
yeah, he doesn't have the tempered.
So he'll hopefully remember to do that.
Yeah, once he gets done
after he gets tempered.
Yeah, once he's done with this cave here. Remember, they haven't checked South Shore yet. Which pretty much is probably going to be junk at this point, at the rate this seed's going.
So Eunos is about to head over to Eastside Death Mountain. He has the hammer, so he can just run straight right from Hera. So he'll be getting the Cane of Samaria pretty soon. He'll be getting the lamp pretty soon. I'd probably say Eunos is in the lead at the moment with how Dan has routed this.
It's an interesting decision.
Although the only from Eunos' trek through Dark World Kakariko and through Hyrule, he only really found the hammer. So depending upon how early Dan goes to Hype Cave, he could cut down on that lead quite a bit.
Well, here comes Dan back into the lay world. He's now going to check. He's going to head to the south, but he did not get the flute, which is an interesting error. Well, not error, but something that he's now missing at this point.
That could come back to haunt him, unfortunately. The flute being a required item, also making travel a little quicker.
Now, also interesting, you may have forgotten about the fact that he had the mirror, which could have taken care of these blocks, so he only had to go in and out of the Swamp Palace once.
Yeah, that's a nice little. Here. Either with the hookshot or the mirror, you can do both of these locations in one trip.
Miria grabbing a crystal, so we're tied at 1 crystal apiece. Dan finding a 20 rupee, and he's not gonna go check the Lake World Hype Cave. Instead, he's got a date with the Desert Palace.
So having the book, he has the lamp. Definitely a solid option. Although if he had the flute, he'd be able to completely skip the book animation. But
yeah, if he had the flute, he would also be able to take care of the 3 other chests that were made available via the Dark World.
Mm-hmm.
And 20 rupees there for Dan out of Guinness Cave.
Link is just stealing everyone's life savings this seed as well. Taking the 5 from his uncle, taking the 20 from Agana.
And so let's see what's here on the desert ledge. I have a half a mind to leave already.
It's a red rupee.
Just 20. That vulture's life savings.
So all we're looking for is the fire and ice rod, and and we know where all the required items are. So we're
Which is hard to believe at 25 minutes in.
luckily the fire and ice rod are not the most restricted items. Fire rod can be in a lot of locations. Ice rod can be literally anywhere that's not Ganon's Tower or Trinex drop. So there's still some hope.
Blue goo in the Desert Palace. That's one of the 2 items.
Yep, only 2 items in the desert, so this will most likely be a small key or a big key. There's a small key. So...
So have we seen what medallion gets the runners into Turtle Rock? Because that's another thing that these guys are missing.
I did not see... I think Myria checked it, but... I did not see what it was. Let's see if Eunos...
We're going to see on Eunos' end here. That's going to help us out a lot. And Bombos, as the chat confirms. And there's the big key pickup there for Dan.
Alright, so we still need Bombos, so that's 3 items at least, depending upon what the medallion is for Meyer. That can make it 4 max.
Oh, this was definitely a front-loaded seed.
Alright, so Myria opting to go to Dark World Kakariko before Desert. Eunos unlocking the flute, probably going to go to Meyer location.
300 rupees there is the second item of the desert, so we know that the boss is dropping. I don't know if it's the compass or the map he's going to be dropping, because I didn't get to see the first one that came through, but whatever one Dan doesn't have.
Yeah, given the ability to check what other medallion you need for Misery Mire, having that knowledge with all the items they already have would definitely be the place to go to now.
Alright, so Dan now making his way over to Misery Mire, so we're going to find out if we have medallions, different medallions needed for both. Like, the seed is already given it to these guys early on. And it is... I didn't see that. Oh, Quake. Well, they don't have that either.
So 4 more items. Quake, Bombos, Fire, and Ice Rod.
Piece of 120 rupees in the cave to the left of Misery Mire.
Alright, so Eunos going to be doing the Desert Mirror, opting to do it this way, which is pretty smart.
Yeah, you get to save that long animation of Link praying his way into the Desert Palace.
With the mirror already as well, you get to skip the massive backtrack in this dungeon. Once you check the right side, you can just mirror back to the left. Saves a significant amount of time for how simple it is.
Well, for those of us who are hoping for a trolley seed, we're not getting it just yet. But then again, we're 28 minutes in. We've yet to find all the items. We don't know how the back end of this race is going to be. There's still a possibility that there could be something nasty waiting for our runners. So while
Myria got Fire Rod actually while we were talking.
Ooh, where did she find that?
She paid a nice 80 rupees.
Yeah, the digging game. Okay.
Yeah, Eunos couldn't check that because he took the purple chest with him, and the shovel game man will not let you play it with the shovel following you.
Yeah, they kind of hate that. So what dungeons again were pendant dungeons?
Swamp, Thieves, Skull.
So we knew that Fire Rod wasn't going to be on the pedestal if it was ever going to be required, but that still leaves either of the 2 medallions that we need to get into Mire or to Turtle Rock, but also leaves us the possibility of the Ice Rod being there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, each person has a big item that the other person wants to have. Myria has the Fire Rod, Dan has the flute, Eunos has the hammer.
Dan does not have the flute. Dan's the only one without the flute.
Oh, Dan doesn't have the flute. That's right. Okay, never mind. Yeah. So, yeah, it just seems like this is quite a bizarre start to this race.
It's pretty crazy how 30 minutes in, the first person is now checking the Moldorm Cave with its 5 items.
Yeah, most seeds are checking this within like the first 10 minutes of the seed. This today turns out to be this way. So far, nothing. Still nothing. And more nothing.
Hey, you got a small shield. He can protect himself from spears.
And Octorok rocks too, which is correct, but still, in the greater scheme of things, probably not what you'd want to find most of all in that cave. Myriachan getting the hammer.
Let's see what's tonight. Could Ice Rod Cave be Ice Rod?
Could that be? That'd be interesting. Dan coming up to it. Nope, it's explosive. We're also waiting for these guys to check the hobo, too.
If no one's checked hobo, no one's checked the Lake Hylia heart piece ledge.
Now, Mary's going to check the pyramid ledge.
Yep, so Myria having hammer now. Just missing Ice Rod and medallions.
Wise decision to pick up the butter sword on Lake Hylia Island.
Ooh, that's it's not too bombos.
Bombos. Yes.
One of the required medallions.
And the bug catching net from Myria, which is still a nice find, considering the fact that we've already found 2 or 3 bottles already.
3, I believe. 2 with red potion and 1 with blue, I think.
And a piece of heart is all the hobo seems to have today.
Oh, it was ether. It was not Quake, so just need Bombos and Ice Rod.
So Eunos is now an Ice Rod. Well, he also needs Fire Rod, never mind.
Yep, he still needs fire.
We're just trying to keep track of what's going on over here.
We're just missing the 1 item left.
So where can this Ice Rod be?
Now, Eunos coming into this dungeon this early. This is a relatively slow dungeon if you're still looking for items. So I don't know. I probably would have preferred to not come here, but he has the ability to clear it out 100%, so we'll see what happens.
Myriad opted to go into the Sarsaparilla cave there via the Dark World portal. We just saw Dan go in there through the Light World. He's going to have to go, looks like, to Eastern Palace. Myriad's going into the Palace of Darkness, and Eunos and Misery Mire.
So yeah, with how item heavy this was, the routes immediately diverged, which is really interesting. You don't usually see it this early in a randomizer race, where everyone is just in a completely different location.
Yeah, this is a completely different scenario than half of these seeds, or some of the seeds we've even seen that have been completely linear for the good part of an hour. And 20 rupees found on Dance and Myria finding keys, which you are bound to find plenty of them inside this beautiful, lovely little Palace of Darkness.
So at this point, Ice Rod, being the big item, could literally be anywhere.
Now, Myria, just taking a look at her items, that's the only item she needs for Go mode, right? Oh no, she needs Bombos.
No, she needs Bombos, which is in the desert northeast block cave.
So where
So
do you guys...
Dan also needs the flute to get Bombos.
Yep. So where will you find the ice rod? Where do you guys think the ice rod's going to be? Well, we already found 2 of the items inside this Eastern Palace. It seemed like money and money for Dan. And with the compass in hand, Dan's still missing an item, so he's gonna have to go check the big key chest room.
Yeah, if that was the third non-dungeon item in a chest, he could just go straight up to Armos, because he would know that this last chest and Armos drop are map and compass. But without it, it's a 50-50, and it's a huge time loss if you don't come and check this. You have to make your way through the first several desert or eastern rooms all over again.
And it's a decision that can make or break a race, especially in this kind of race where every minute's very, very valuable. And it turned out it was the map indeed.
So this is pretty much... Eunos has to remember that he didn't do digging game. And I guess between Miri and Eunos, it's a race for the ice rod.
Yep, and Dan's got to remember he didn't get to the ether tablet. And there's the big key for Eunos, and I think he remembered he has not found all the 2 items inside this dungeon just yet, so he's going to go double check this big chest again. And it turns out just to be a key, because that's the way Misery Mire is. It's nothing but misery.
So Vitreous with this low health and not very many arrows or silver arrows, hopefully won't lead to too much trouble for Eunos. And just a bomb upgrade from Armos.
And not exactly what Dan wanted to find, but it is a crystal dungeon, so he gets to go ahead and take care of it, get it finished off. Oh, Myria found quarter magic, by the way, in Palace of Darkness.
Yes, she did. Quarter magic pretty much allowing you to shoot infinite fire rods, or use the magic cape for probably about a minute.
Which is going to make certain fights coming up, especially Mothula and other various fights. Vitreous would also be a good spot to be using it in. So these runners have got to be wondering, after all the great items they have found so far, what does the seed have in store for them? There's got to be a catch. I think you and I know what the catch is going to be, Andy. Where is the ice rod?
So Dan finally making his way to Dark World Kakariko. So Dan might be getting the fire rod now, if he goes and checks digging game.
And Eunos using the cape strats in time to go face off against Vitreous, but he's already out of magic, but he did get most of the eyeballs down.
Yep, he is looking good for this fight. Smart play by Eunos.
Yep, 9 arrows left, so he can do it all but 1 arrow. There we go. He's down. And a heart piece. That's your reward for taking down Vitreous today. Now get yourself out of Misery Mire. And probably we'll do Desert next, right? He hasn't done Desert, right?
Eunos did Desert, yes.
Okay, well in that case, he's already done with Desert. He's got 3 crystals so far. Dan's got 3 crystals. Myria's working on her second. Palace of Darkness is one of those long dungeons. could allow her a little bit of room here, but Dan's about to find the fire rod.
Alright, looks like Eunos going straight to Palace of Darkness. So Dan getting the fire rod.
By the way, do you know what crystals 5 and 6 are?
I think Meyer was one of them, and then the other one was in the light world.
So Eunos is getting close to getting the super bomb. It's still a possibility that the large fairy has that in her grasps. And a nice kill there of the Helmasaur for Myria to pick up her second crystal at the 40-minute mark.
Dan getting owned by a spear, losing Kiki.
Aww. Another 10 rupees down the drain. But at least he's got enough rupees to bring Kiki to the Palace of Darkness, unlike a certain person I know who didn't have enough rupees and saw it go sprinting off. I don't know who that person would be. And Myria making the right decision here to go check Eastern right after finishing up the Palace of Darkness, so she might be behind by crystals, but she's going to go ahead and get her third one within like a few minutes of the other two runners.
Dan checking Bombos because Eunos couldn't earlier, not having the book or a better sword. But it turned out to just be red rubies.
Well, I guess the whole entire thing is just to figure out where this ice rod is. So, like, it could be in the most trolliest of spots. I mean, there's any place but the boss drop from Trinex or Ganon's Tower where that ice rod could be. And Dan's about to pick up the hammer. But he's not in a good position because he's missing out on the flute that he didn't grab from Death Mountain.
So Myria still needs Bombos and Ice Rod. Eunos needs Fire Rod and Ice Rod. And Dan needs the flute, Bombos, and Ice Rod.
Yep. And those are the only items that are keeping these runners from go mode at this point. Like, you've run this randomizer many times. When is the fastest you've ever been on go mode?
The fastest I've been on go mode, probably, I don't know, low 30s. That was also a 110 seed.
Yeah,
so.
That's what they call the stupid jet seed, I guess.
Yeah.
Dan's about to do the Palace of Darkness. Eunos doing the Palace of Darkness right now. Myria doing Eastern Palace. We know that the one thing that they're going to pick up right now, Dan and Eunos, will be the quarter magic, which will make them feel a little happy about their magic choices later on in this seed.
So Eunos doing a cane dash to hit the switch down there is actually really cool. I've never seen anybody try that before.
You know, the amazing thing about this tournament is the fact that you've had so many different kinds of runners with different kind of strategies. So you've got a whole slew of ways that people can run this game.
And a lot of stuff you don't ever see, like situations in any speedrun of A Link to the Past, regardless of whether it's a no major glitches category or a glitched category. So a lot of the strats have been come up with along the way, which has been really fun to be a part of. Alright, Eunos is picking up quarter magic there.
So, next up for Myria, I think what we know is Eunos is going to do Eastern Palace coming up after this. Dan, he already did Eastern Palace, so the question would be for where does he go after this? I'm more wondering what Myria will do next, because her path is probably the less known. Maybe check Swamp after this. That's probably the idea I'd think of.
Yeah, she has the flute. She has Titan Mitts. She has Mirror. She has a fire source. I'd probably go to Desert just because I know I can do it, and it's a quick dungeon, and I have to do it at some point anyways, and I can clear it out almost entirely. So I don't know. I'm a big fan of doing dungeons where you have to check most of the chests in them anyways, regardless of whether you're in go mode or not, to do those earlier.
Oh, right. So
Like
then
Skullwoods, Thieves Town, Eastern. A lot of those dungeons you have to check most of anyways, so it's not really a time loss to check all of the chests in them.
Yeah, so in that case, what she could do here is do the Misery Mire Desert combo.
Mm-hmm.
What she's about to do.
Exactly what she's doing. Sees that she needs Ether, which she already has.
Yeah, it's not like the game gave them Ether real easy.
So we'll see if she goes and checks Northwest Desert Cave, get Bombos, leave her with one item left for go mode.
Yeah, then all that is the Ice Rod. She'll be the closest to go mode.
Yep, and here it is.
So there's the Bombos tablet, which she knows because she did check the Turtle Rock. She knows that Bombos is required for Turtle Rock, but even if you didn't have to pop into Turtle, even if you didn't need the Bombos medallion, you're probably going to pick that up in this case. And she's going to do the Misery Mire first, part of this combo, and then take care of Desert afterwards. It all comes down to where in the world is this Ice Rod? So Dan's going to be about 30 or 40 seconds away from picking up the Quarter Magic. Eunos finishing off with the Helmasaur King to pick up his 4th crystal.
Dan picking up the Quarter Magic there.
Yep. It's really, really tough to determine who's got the lead right now. And if you had to pop into a pendant dungeon at this point, which one would you choose and why?
Oh man, I'd probably, if I had to pop into pendant dungeon, I'd probably do the Thieves Town Skullwoods combo, because those are both relatively quick. Swamp is just so long.
Yeah, having them back to back definitely helps.
But I would not do a pendant dungeon yet. I'd do Ice Palace. I wouldn't go into Turtle Rock without Ice Rod, unless most other things are checked already. But definitely doing all the crystal dungeons before entering any pendant dungeon is the way to go, with how the seeds played out.
Yeah, and we saw a case of that in the last race where a runner opted to go into Turtle Rock in search of the Ice Rod there and found out, no, it wasn't there. It was in the Ice Palace, and that really ended up costing them the race. Like, the gamble's there. If you do go into Turtle Rock and it's there, then the gamble's good and you end up winning. But if the gamble goes wrong, you just lost a whole bunch of time that you got to backtrack through later on.
Having to enter Turtle Rock from the main entrance, along with just the amount of time it takes to get up there and the amount of time you spend actually doing the dungeon, is a lot.
And now Myria opting to go upstairs here, and Unfortunately, we know this is not the path to the big key. The big key turned out to be in the chest that's to the left of where the big chest is.
Yeah, but still looking for that ice rod. You can't leave this chest unchecked, unfortunately. So big things that they haven't checked: the Catfish Zora combo. They haven't checked Spike Cave and Death Mountain.
I don't think either of them have checked the Bumper Cave either.
Nope. North of Dark Old Kakariko hasn't been looked at once yet.
Or they checked the mirror spot north of the graveyard. And there's a lot of possibilities where this ice rod could be. Like, it could very well be a possibility that we will see some runner head on over towards the Pyramid Ferry.
Yep, that is definitely a possibility.
So Dan finishing up here, and we're going to probably see him. I believe he hasn't checked the Pyramid Ledge yet, so he's probably going to check that, then check Catfish.
Hopefully. Could lead us to the ice rod.
We know the bug catching net turned out to be the item that was on the Pyramid Ledge, but nobody's checked the Catfish yet, so who knows? Eunos having a little bit of problems against the Armos Knights.
And getting that bomb upgrade he totally wanted.
Yeah, he was totally down with that too.
So Eunos with 5 crystals, all he has left is Ice and Turtle Rock, but still missing that Ice Rod and the Fire Rod. So...
yeah, and with the Bombos, he can do Ice Palace. May not be the preferred route for him at this point, but...
so we'll see if Eunos decides to do the Pyramid. Oh, he's checking Sahashala with the mirror.
well, that's also a wise play at this point. And there's also a possibility that Sahashala still has the Ice Rod in his grasp here, because the seed has been really, really generous for these players.
Definitely is possible. I just did a seed where Hookshot was actually Sahashala item, and the green pendant was Turtle Rock. So that was nice.
Oh, that's a lot of fun right there. I'm sure you enjoyed playing seeds like that, but you never know what's going to happen in these randomizer seeds.
You never know.
Well, let's see what Catfish has.
Is this the Ice Rod?
Here we go. No, it's a little bit of love. And he's going to check Zora, which nobody has checked either.
Yep, so we'll get the Zora item and the Zora Ledge heart piece.
And some container. Love. Yep.
Dan with 11 hearts, I'm not sure if Dan will opt to get that heart container or not, having 11 hearts already.
Yeah, seeing him skip over pieces of parts, it wouldn't surprise me if he opts to not go with this heart container. And the mushroom! That is interesting here. Eunos is now heading over to the hobo. Myriachan checking desert. And that will put her at 5 crystals as well, with the same crystals that Eunos needs to finish off.
Mm-hmm. Hobo Ice Rod would be pretty good. I'd approve.
Nope. Well, he just had a piece of heart, that's right, because we saw it, I believe, on Dan's end with fake flippers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Oh, Dan doesn't have the flute, that's right. I was going to say, interesting decision of Dan not to flute on over, but he doesn't have that ability.
Yeah, not yet.
We're going to see Ice Rod Cave, which was explosive, if I remember. Yeah, it was explosive.
Is this it? Nope.
No! 10 arrows. Nope, not what you want. So for those of you who are just curious about what's going on here, Dan needs the flute and the ice rod. Eunos needs the fire rod and the ice rod. Myria just needs the ice rod. But Dan also needs bombos as well. Bombos turned out to be Northeast Desert, had the mirror to get to that cave in the checkerboard room, whatever you guys want to call it. Fire Rod was in the digging game. We don't know where the ice rod is. That's the $65,000 question right now. And Myria, with that pickup here, now knows that she's out of items for this dungeon. Just make a run right straight to the boss now and get yourself on out of here. Get your 5th crystal. And
so, Eunos and Myria relatively close. Myria does have the fire rod, but Eunos has quite a bit more locations checked than Myria does at this point.
Yeah. And the strange thing is that Eunos is at 55 minutes in checking South Shore. This is just how ridiculous the seed has been. And don't forget, the winner of this race moves on to the bracket. The other two, their tournament experience comes to an end tonight.
Ooh, we're getting the ledge check.
Eunos checking the ledge. Sees butter.
Rupees were at Bumper Cave, so no need to do that.
And we're gonna see what's on top of the graveyard.
Eunos going into Ice Palace.
50 rupees on top of the graveyard. And don't forget, Eunos has bombos with the quarter magic, so this is not a bad scenario for him. It's just, we know this is now where he's going to find the fire rod. So, trying to figure out what these runners will choose next. And obviously having Thieves Town and Skull Woods be Penda Dungeons means less likely we end up seeing a case where these runners opt to check the podium. Oh, nice key right there. That helps a little bit there for Eunos.
Myria getting a nice double shot on the last 2 land mola heads before they went into the sand. Getting her 5th crystal, and now she gets to play the exploring game.
Yep, she's going to check the ice cave here. I thought she was about ready to go into the ice palace, but maybe she's saving that for a few more minutes from now.
Yeah, with how many items she still has here, she has the 2 swamp items, Moldorm Cave and Ice Rod Cave. There's a lot of stuff that is quick to check before heading into Ice Palace.
Yep. And Ice Palace is a nice dungeon that you want to be on go mode for.
Yep, it's relatively quick if you can bomb jump. If you can't bomb jump, it's still a little long regardless. But all these runners should be fairly well versed in the bomb jump.
Yeah, I think we saw for all of the runners, and Myria is going.
Eunos not realizing the pegs are down. Bomb jumping across the pit.
Yeah, that's going to come back to haunt him.
I don't know if he realizes it.
That is interesting, the fact that he bomb jumped.
That... and the fact that, like, he got successful pixel, he probably didn't even look. So he could be rudely awakened here in a second once he gets downstairs.
Dan's checking Thieves Town. But Eunos forgetting to put down that switch is going to come back to haunt him in a little bit. He won't see it now, but he will see it when he gets down to the 5th floor.
Yeah, hopefully he'll have the big key by then, so that it won't really matter, since he does have Cane of Samaria. But it'll probably be interesting to see his reaction once it happens.
Well, he finds a 5 rupee, so we know one of the 3 items in this dungeon.
Myria, also an ice palace now. If she keeps following in Eunos' footsteps, she'll have the upper hand, already having the fire rod. Oh, ice rod in ice palace.
Oh wow. Oh wow. That means if Myria goes that direction, she makes the switch the right direction, she's going to be on go mode. And she entering this race was nervous about the fact that she would end up having to beat 3 different players for this right now. Eunos does not have the big key. Now, there's still a possibility the big key could end up upstairs above the big chest. And Myria does change the switch over. She's going to do the bomb jump the right way.
Gets it first try, easy every time. Eunos bombosing a little early that will not kill the I don't even know what they're called.
Blue things.
Ice idiots is what I like to call them.
Ice idiots. I like that name.
There's the big key. All right, so let's see what happens in this room.
Myria going to the left.
Getting that mirror shield. Yeah,
No.
Myria not opting to use her key to get those 3 chests quickly.
Yeah, that's an interesting problem right now. And Eunos now having a path right straight to the boss here with a Canis and Maria. I really hope Myria isn't planning on leaving this dungeon without getting the ice rod. Oh no, she's correcting her course. She's going upstairs. Good.
Interesting route, but it works.
It does.
Sort of.
Cannot, she would be so upset if she left that behind.
So interestingly, you'll get to see here that any boss key door that's facing north has a small key door on the south side of the room above it, for whatever reason. So you can open big key doors with small keys if you go in them backwards.
So we know Dan is in the wrong place here. Thieves' Town will have nothing to help him along. And anyone who's hoping for the seed that started off so amazingly for these runners to have a pedestal required, no, not this case here. Eunos getting crystal number 6, missing the fire rod. It's in one spot he hasn't checked, the digging game. Myria now just skating her way. She is probably, 3 rooms away from go mode now. Blind the thief goes down.
So
there's the
now it's
magic powder.
Now it's just hoping that Eunos remembers that he didn't do digging game, which coming here he could be heading there.
Either there or he's heading to swamp. Or he might be checking the big bomb.
Yep, he's checking big bomb, unfortunately. Teased us a little bit with kind of going the right direction.
So the long... Oh! Well, I think he's going to dupe it, right?
Yep, he should be.
How does that work, by the way?
That's a good question. Transitioning in some form right after the timer hits 0
this isn't going to work.
Causes...
This isn't going to work, and he just realized that you have to knock off Aghanim in order for the portal to work.
It's fluting.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are in go mode for Myria as she picks up the ice rod at 1 hour and 4 minutes.
What? I don't... Eunos might be coming here to check digging game. I don't know what was happening there, but...
I don't know what happened.
Here's hoping. If he gets fire rod here, they will be neck and neck.
Oh boy, he's heading in that direction.
Oh my goodness.
Or he's gonna check the
He didn't have
head
hammer
cave.
when he came here the first time, but this could be good. He could be heading to Digging Game right after.
Yeah. Right as the meantime, Myria's going up against Cold Stare. These two could be heading up to Death Mountain together. Finds a 20 rupee. Myria going up against Cold Stare. This is going to be the decision that determines things for Eunos.
Realizes he already did purple chest, doesn't need to go do it again. Let's see.
Yep.
Come on, Eunos, go south. Oh baby.
Oh my
They're gonna
goodness.
be so close to each other.
If he goes to the left, he's got this.
Oh,
or right,
my
rather.
goodness.
He does. He's going to check Digging Game.
This is it. This race
Myria
is so
is going to have
close.
the crystal. She's going to have her path up to Turtle Rock first. Eunos digging up. This is going to be a race between Eunos and Myria, just like it was. That created this three-way race. 3 more digs, 2 more digs, 1 more dig. There's the fire rod.
They're literally tied.
You go mode for both activated.
Oh my goodness.
And Eunos going to use the magic mirror because he has to get out of the game first. And we've got synchronized duck swags up to Death Mountain. Side by side. Oh no, Myria's doing potions, which is interesting considering the fact that
Red mail, 11 hearts, quarter magic. It's quite a lot of resources to have, but a little extra doesn't hurt, I guess.
Dan was given the gift here when Myria defeated Eunos to create the 3-way race. Winner moves on to the brackets, joins my broadcast partner Andy in the bracket stage out of Group A. So Eunos has a little bit of a lead over Myria because Myria decided to go buy some potions.
Yep, still very close between those two. It'll still all come down to execution.
How well these two execute.
Meanwhile, Dan should be finding Ice Rod relatively soon, but that still leaves him without the flute and without Bombos.
Yeah, he's 2 crystals behind at this point.
Although once Dan finds the flute, he should find Bombos very quickly.
But he's got to remember to get all the way back up to Death Mountain, and I don't know if he's going to remember to do that anytime soon. And now Myria unlocking Turtle Rock, Eunos unlocking Turtle Rock, and I think in the side-by-side, my feeling would go towards Eunos only because Eunos' execution is quite crisp in other games. But this is quite the race, guys. And we go into the Crystal Dungeon number 7, Turtle Rock. Here we go.
Eunos with about a 21-second lead over Myriachan, heading into Turtle Rock.
This is crazy here. We knew it was going to be a close race here. Things like what Eunos just did are things that are going to matter when it comes to execution through here. How fast you can get the hook shot to save yourself some time. There's the big key and a small key. Myria gets a small key as well, so what is it you need to get downstairs in this game?
You need to not have to check any more chests. You need the big key and 2 small keys. If you head downstairs post Chomp Room with 1 small key and the big key, you just have to steal the Pokey key, and you can head straight to Trinex.
Well, getting 2 keys up here on this floor plus the big key, that does open up that possibility.
It's a good start, that's for sure. So he gets 1 key from this Pokey coming up here, and hopefully there will also be a key in the Chain Chomp chest. If there's no key in the Chain Chomp chest, he can steal the Pokey key, and then he'll just have to check the big chest on his way down to the basement. Ooh, the Brahmin block blast getting blocked by the Chain Chomp. It's unfortunate. It's a really cool set. Ooh, silver arrows! If the game couldn't give them any more.
And that's on a path that everyone is going to discover.
And there's the Ice Rod for Dan. So Dan probably thinking he's in pretty good shape right now. He's just missing the flute, to his knowledge. Doesn't know what Maya requires yet.
Yep. But he does know Bombos is required, and he doesn't have that, but he would get that soon once he gets the flute activated. It's just where the flute is what he needs to get to ASAP. I'm not certain if he's going to get up there quickly enough.
Alright, so Eunos being smart. He didn't use the Poke Key on that door. Best case scenario, what you get from using that Poke Key is another small key. So you don't want to use it. He'll have to come down here and go south after the double Poke room to check the big chest, because that can have the last small key.
Now, with one key in hand at this point, would you do the big chest?
Yes. There is a chance that the chest behind the Poke key door was a small key, and leaving it up to chance is a pretty significant time loss.
Especially if you swing and miss and have to go back upstairs, and at this point in time, Eunos doesn't know it, but Myria's hot on his tail.
It's just a heart piece.
Myria now chasing after her, going outside. She's going to check the big chest as well, which, as you mentioned, you want to do in this case.
Unfortunately, no Mimic Cave sighting this time. Ooh, Myria turning upwards in that room. You never want to do that.
That's what gets the statue that's facing you to go right after you, and we get the red boomerang pick up here for Eunos. Like, right now, I know
Eunos taking a wrong turn. Quickly correct.
Yeah, things like this. Things like this are what can make a difference at this point. Small mistakes because of how close these two runners are.
Looks like Dan is heading back up Death Mountain, so he could be getting the flute right here. This is looking good for Dan.
Yes, he needs this as long as he doesn't go into the spike of the burner cave.
A little late for this flute. Oh,
no, he's
going to Burner Cave first. Oh, Eunos taking some damage. He's got to be careful here.
Ooh, and he falls off the edge here.
Myria also not looking too good with her heart count, but she has at least one blue potion.
Yeah,
Eunos should have some as well with the potions he's gotten throughout this.
Ooh, Myria falls off before she can get out of the room. And, you know... Oh, she's gonna go safety strat here. Which is also gonna pay off for her in the sense that that first chest she's gonna come across has the key.
Mm-hmm. So playing it safe and holding her sword out so that her shield is facing the wall, not taking damage.
Here comes Eunos up against Trinex. 3 hearts left. Is just going on an all-out assault here.
Alright. Pretty solid firehead. Ooh, Eunos has to be very careful.
At Red Tunic, how much does Trinex do? Just too much damage. You don't want to die. Flute pick up here for Dan. Like, if Eunos dies right now, it's a game changer.
Eunos down. Played that super risky. With Trinex being that low, going for the double spin is insanely tight. Going for... Trying to avoid Trinex at that point instead of just mashing your sword to the right is... Oh man. My heart was racing.
So was mine. This is unbelievable. These guys are going to be within a minute of each other coming into Ganon's tower. So we do this every time, guys. 22 chests plus 21 chests plus the torch makes 22 possible places the big key could be in Ganon's tower. Pick a number 1 through 22. Where do you think that big key is going to be? Andy,
I'm going 1.
You're going 1. I'm going to go 2.
I got 1 in my last seed. This seed has been crazy. I'm going for all out.
If you expect me to read that, how fast that chat is flying, forget about it. I am not reading all those numbers. 19, 16, 21, 3, 4, and I probably saw pi in there too. Here we go! Ganon's Tower.
No, it wasn't 1. It wasn't 2, so we're out.
Eunos going right side.
Ooh.
Oh, baby!
He might think that he's a little behind with where Fire Rod was. So he might be taking a risk. We'll see if this ends up paying off. This could be huge.
This could be really huge if it turns out to be left side.
Dan finding Bombos, so he is also now in go mode. With just Misery Mire and Turtle Rock left to do.
Alright, chest 3, big key!
Wow.
Oh my god!
My goodness.
Oh my god!
The plays. He still needs some small keys, but he's gonna pick one up here and he can go straight upstairs. What a play by Eunos.
Side Eunos!
Insane.
Oh, wow.
So Eunos just taking the lead he already had after Turtle Rock and just
the gamble
increasing it exponentially.
Off. Wow. And he's first to climb up to the tower. Myria. Unfortunately, that right there will be a big game changer right there for Eunos, and that's going to give him a lead that probably will get him into the bracket stage.
Very solid mimic rooms from Eunos as well.
And it's
Eunos'
just
execution this whole race has been very good.
Yeah, and he's one of those proficient speedrunners. And I mean, you can see that the way he really breaks down his routes when it comes to games like the Zelda 1, Zelda 2. He's very, very, very picky about how his routing goes. So,
and
you know,
just
it doesn't surprise me.
Being someone with prior speedrun experience in games like that, you know how to practice. You know how to optimize the time you use. So even with how short he's been playing A Link to the Past, he's made the best of his time.
Yeah, this is just... He's having a little bit of problems with the Gauntlet, but it's, you know, it's RNG. You've mentioned it before that these rooms are RNG once after the rooms loaded. Yep,
enemy spawn is always constant, but what they do once they spawn is completely random. So, like oh my goodness, I don't remember what they're called. The horse heads can move up, down, left, or right, and they can also move up, down, left, or right for a random amount of time before they turn. Same with the stall posts. So those rooms can be tricky if they don't go well.
By the way, if you picked chest number... What was it? Chest number 4 in the pool, you ended up winning. You won our love and affection today. A nice fine token of playing the 3-way chess game. Beautiful first Wizrobe room there for Eunos. Let's see how he does in the second one. This one's the more challenging one. We're being told it's number 3. So those who pick 3, you win. 4, you get the consolation prize because he checked that too. And there we see the level 2 shield on Myriachan was in the Bob chest. And here she goes against the Armosas. Probably no idea that Eunos opted to go to the right-hand side. Probably thinking at 119, she's in for a sick time too, but you can't be thinking 119 to save time given how easy the seed was at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. So Eunos having to pick up this guaranteed key from the Helmasaur. Only going upstairs with 1 key is only possible because that Helmasaur has a guaranteed key drop.
Otherwise, you're playing it up against a really big luck game.
Mm-hmm. Eunos not needing the magic, but decides to pick it up anyways. Having 1/4 magic and almost a full magic bar going into Ganon. Not super necessary.
Especially when you have silvers.
So Moldorm, make quick work. 1 spin attack and 1 slash will do it.
And let's see what he does here with the chest, the final chest of the game. Wow!
And it's a heart container.
Hi, heart container.
Myria opting to check the tile room chest first. This is always the last chest you want to check. It takes so long to get, and it's just for 1 chest.
And it's the Cane of Myrna.
So Eunos getting 2 hits there, but they hit him at the same time, so it's only going to count as 1, unfortunately. Getting 3 there, though. Good lineups. Wow, another good lineup.
Yeah. And he's quickly off to Ganon. Fastest time of the tournament was 1:19 and change. We saw that by AJ Neb on a Saturday morning that I got to call, which was a really exciting race where Final Form ended up losing the race but getting a 1:23. Eunos going for a top time in this race.
Yep,
here.
Eunos could get a high 122 if his Ganon goes well with silver arrows.
Yeah,
but it'll be tricky.
And I think that'd be good for the 3rd fastest time of this tournament.
Doesn't get the double spin off, so he's going to get at least a 2 cycle here.
And he's going to do Cape Strats, which is a very good idea here, given the fact he's got the Tempered Sword, which doubles the 6 hits you need, so it's 12 hits per cycle, correct?
Yes.
Myria finding the big key, and then opts to check the final chest as well for the 300 rupee prize.
Let's see if... Ooh, Eunos getting 12 in there. That's a good fight. 2 in 1 cycle is not too bad.
Yep, he's just got to finish off these 4 hits, and then it's off to pelter him with 4 silver arrows to win this race here. And it will be very certain that Eunos will be joining you in the race-off, Andy. Not the race-off, the bracket stage.
Yep, that's what it looks like. He's getting 1 hit here.
Does not get the torch glitch. Oh, almost falling off!
You typically don't want to get torch glitch in this fight because of the way Ganon teleports. But yep, he got him. He's down.
And he's going to get a sub 123 in this race here. As you mentioned, a high 122. And Eunos is moving on to the bracket stage. And the official SRL time of 1:22:52. One thing we're going to have to ask him is the whole decision to go to the right side. That right there gave him the lead that he needed to win this race, although I'm not certain if he would have probably already surpassed Myria had she taken the lead at all, because his combat through Ganon's tower was very, very proficient.
Yes, executed very well the entire race. This is a really good race. I'm really glad that it was very close up until the end.
Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of race we were hoping for in this race-off here. Fortunately for Dan, leaving behind the flute was a real big problem. A real big problem for him.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate oversight by Dan.
And he just came back to haunt him, and, you know, what a race, though. What a race. This race gave it all to our players right from the get-go. As we welcome in Eunos, the winner, and he's moving on to the bracket. Congratulations with a high 122.
Thank you.
So how did you feel about this seed right off the bat?
It was rather generous for an 18 logic seed.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't, it didn't tier too many items like really deep. The ice rod was by far like the most buried item. Everything else was just sitting there.
Yeah, it led to some really interesting early game routes where everyone pretty much doing something different just because of how many options you got in Escape and Kakariko. Like, I think Dan was the first one to check Moldorm Cave next to Lake Hylia, and that was like 30 minutes in. You did it at like 40 something, and Myria did it at like 50 something.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was probably. Well, I did many Moldorms right before ice, so it's probably around 50 something that I did it.
It was the 50 range.
Yeah, it was late.
Let's just put it this way here. What was going through your head when you found all the good items early on? Like, were you wondering where this troll is going to be in this seed?
Yeah, I was still like working out like, do I need the fire rod at all? I was thinking about Ganon's tower, and then I remembered that we had Turtle Rock. So yeah, it was required, obviously. But yeah, I just knew that, somewhere in here there's got to be something I'm going to end up digging for.
Now let's talk about the one thing that really, really set you in this race here. The decision to go right in Ganon's tower. Why did you do that?
Because I got a key.
Nice.
Solid. I mean, that's all it was. You can't get. Let's say that I thought I was ahead going to Ganon's tower, or that I thought I was in a good shape. The only way to give up a ton of time in Ganon's tower is not to go right, because it only takes like a minute to check those 4 chests, and then you get the whole left side.
So you didn't know it at the time, but Myria was within about a minute of you heading into Ganon's tower, and that whole decision to go right ended up giving you a padded lead here that no other racer was going to be able to overcome.
Yeah.
You got Fire Rod pretty much like a second behind Myria getting her 6th crystal when she was already in go mode.
Oh wow, yeah, nice.
And then she went to get potions before going to Turtle Rock, and you entered like 20 seconds ahead of her in Turtle Rock. and then yeah, that decision to go right gave you a minute and a half plus of extra time that you didn't need.
Wow.
And your execution up on Ganon's tower was also very, very good. We're talking about it here. Some great kills on the path there, and let's put it there now. You're in the brackets. Your thoughts about that?
Hadn't thought to be there, but all right, cool. Great. Yeah, that fire rod, missing that was actually a mistake in my routing when the choice. We got all this stuff early, right? So I went to Dark Kakariko, Village Dogcast, whatever. My route there is to do the digging game before the smith, because you can't take the chest into the digging game, right? Mm-hmm. So I always just do the digging game first if I've got Titans-Mid, but I forgot, and then I just went with it. And but I guess in this randomizer, sometimes like missing an item really doesn't hurt you that badly, because I was digging Ice Palace out and I got the ice rod. I didn't think to get the ice rod necessarily, but I was just digging.
It turned out to definitely help you on the long run there. Now, Myria going up against Ganon, and with 2 hearts, got to be very, very careful, but she's going to use the cape stretch, just like you did, Eunos. Now, we do have a question we want to ask you about a certain thing that you did in Ice Palace, but we're going to get to that in just a moment, as Myria continues on with the bats here, and gets to stage number 3 of the Ganon fight. With 2 hearts, though, still got to be careful, but I think she's just getting herself ready to use the blue potion.
Yep, so she should be in good shape for the rest of this Ganon fight. Meanwhile, Dan making his way towards the end of Turtle Rock. Dan did Death Mountain a little weirdly. He went straight to east side without checking the west side, and so he didn't have a better sword for the Ether tablet, so he didn't get Flute till really late.
Yeah, and that was one of the major things he was missing, because without that, couldn't get the Bombos, couldn't get this Misery Mire. And Myriachan almost wrapping up here, has to relight the torch. Gets Ganon in a pretty good position here, and one more hit. And she's down.
She's done.
Okay, so Ice Palace, bomb jump.
Yeah, that's auto route. Just auto routing, and I jumped over the pegs and I was instantly just laughing at myself. Like, nice.
I was wondering if you even noticed because your bomb jump alignment was really good, and so you're like, maybe he just didn't even like pay attention to the pegs and was just like, oh yeah, that was a good bomb jump.
Bomb jump is so much fun. I have to do it.
Luckily, the big key was over the big chest, so it wasn't a huge issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was funny to watch.
Glad I got entertained.
Well, you gave us all three of you runners gave us quite the thrill in this race here, just especially the way this run began. I was about ready to rage quit the commentator's booth because of how great the items were at the beginning. Nothing like a seed that gives you almost go mode at 30 minutes in. And we see Dan now grabbing the heart out of Turtle Rock, and he's going to be heading over to Ganon's Tower. So, yeah, I mean, congratulations on the win, Eunos. It was a great run here. And I believe, if I was correct saying this is the third fastest time in the tournament.
Yeah, I gotta think that Miria's time is also probably pretty high up.
It's definitely up there. Yep.
Yeah, she finished with an official run time of 1:30.11, which is really good in its own way. Just you can see what the big difference in going one direction versus the other was in this case.
Mm-hmm. Being like a minute and a half behind going into Ganon's Tower.
And to answer a question from Chad, no, it's not going to be the fastest losing run. Isn't even my final form, who lost to the fastest run of the tournament with AJ Neb. He finished with a 1:23. And Dan going left side, and I don't think we saw any good items on the left-hand side. We know that the tile room had the Cane of Burna.
Other than that, it was pretty boring left side.
The party was on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
Well, with that meow, we welcome Miria in here with us. How you doing?
Hi.
Meow.
Wow.
Hi. Good game.
I lost on a PB.
Somebody had to do it.
So, as you know, you ended up getting a very good time in this run, Miria. It turned out to be the big difference is that Eunos opted to go right in Ganon's Tower.
I'm sorry.
The difference was Eunos. The difference between the two of you heading into Ganon's Tower, Eunos had about a 1 minute lead.
Yeah, someone in my chat was saying 30 seconds, so somewhere between 30 seconds and a minute, probably. Yeah.
Yep, pretty close going into Turtle Rock. It's like a 20-second difference going in. It was a really exciting ending.
So, your thoughts overall about this seed here? What gave you everything in the beginning?
Oh, just Death Mountain just turned out to be the way to go. Yeah, I was just amazed at how fast everything came around, and I was able to do all the dungeons in a convenient order, like doing Desert and Mire together and Eastern and Dark together. Pretty much all came together. There were so many places I just didn't end up checking because I ended up getting the final item when I was doing this palace. Yeah,
it was pretty exciting, the fact that it came down to Cold stare for you, Myria, right as Eunos was going through the digging game to get him into go mode. So then it was just a race up into Ganon's Tower, up to Turtle Rock, and the remainder of this game.
Yeah. Then there was me buying a potion. That's probably what sent me back to 20 seconds.
Yeah, you guys were pretty much even at that point.
Wow.
Had you, Myria, used your potions, like your red potions that were picked up?
I had used the blue one, but not the red one.
Okay.
I needed to make sure I could beat Trinex. I have trouble with Trinex with low health. So.
Okay, we do have to ask this question to Eunos. 2 hearts left on Tridex. Your thoughts on that fight?
That was a little scary. If you know me, you know that I do dumb, risky stuff, and that was probably one of them.
I was definitely scared.
Yeah, I knew that the last phase is easy. You know, you just land a double spin hit and just swing. That's all you got to do. Like, just don't get yourself all psyched up. You know?
Yeah. It was still a little close.
Oh yeah, and the Trinex, he moved into the bottom left corner. Where
Yeah, bottom left corner, trying to get the double spin and that extra hit in is
yeah. So what I don't know, and I wondered, but I wasn't going to find out on this run, was if that happens and I sit on the bottom right of Trinex, does it move right? Does it go down and right, or does it still go down and left?
He always goes down and left.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't try right then. That'd have been. I just would have busted out the potion at that point.
Dan now making his way through the torch room. He's going to be soon finding the big key here in Ganon's Tower. But this was just a remarkable race. It definitely was worth of the 3-way race-off that we pretty much hyped it up to be.
Yeah, hopefully the other 3-way race will be this exciting as well. Ooh, Dan getting it in chest 21.
Yep, after he triggered the floor.
Oh.
Did he go right?
No, he went left too.
Like, that run was amazing. Like, I was like, wow, this is getting done really fast. And it turned out to be my PB by like a minute and a half. Or no, more like 2.5 minutes.
Yep. I PB by a minute 36.
Nice.
Yeah. It was a really generous, like, going to Death Mountain and finding, you know, the bow. The bow's another item that can often be kind of like, and I wish I had that so I could just start, you know, clearing palaces, but then, when you know, that was easy to get. And, like, getting the book right there, the sword upgrade right there.
For flute.
And then the flute right after that. I was like, no way. This is crazy.
Yeah. It was pretty much like we were expecting, like, Ice Rod to, like, drop from Moldorm or something at that point. Because the game was just giving you guys everything, like, 2 steps after you had just found a key item.
And then, of course, the silver arrows in a place where you guys weren't going to miss.
Yeah, that was pretty funny, too.
It was the chain shop room, right? Is that what it was?
Yep.
And Dan actually got Butter Sword on the Lake Hylia ledge.
The difference between Tempered Sword and Butter Sword is just so small that I hardly notice it while I'm playing. Like, it's just...
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of struggled with the choice. Like, I saw it as I was heading to Ice, but I wasn't Dark World, I didn't have a portal nearby, so I thought, it's not worth it.
Yeah,
Not with
where?
magic.
Where did you see it?
What's that?
Where did you see it?
The Butter Sword?
Yeah.
It's on the Lake Hylia Island.
Oh, I never went there.
Oh.
I never went to the Light World Swamp Palace, never went to the Hobo or the Light World Hype Cave, or never saw the island.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know, at the point you would have seen it. If you were doing like Ice 6, then you would have correctly judged that it wasn't worth getting.
Yeah, it would have only pretty much saved time on, like, it would have maybe saved a cycle on Ganon, and you saved like 2 or 3 seconds on Trinex.
Yeah, the way you guys were both going on that Ganon fight, I don't think it was going to save you guys any time because both of you guys busted out the magic cape strats.
Quarter magic cape is just ridiculous.
Right.
You just have that thing all day against Ganon. Some ways I'm relieved. I don't have to worry about scheduling these, and also I kind of feel bad for you, Eunos, because you got 2 tournaments going on at once.
Doing pretty mediocre in Zelda 1.
How many people ended up entering that tournament?
44.
Not too bad.
Yeah. It's nice. For the type of tournament that it is, that was a more turnout than I think some of us were projecting.
And you've got your next race in that one coming up on Tuesday night, right?
I think it should be tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow night. Oh yeah, that's right, because you're going a half hour after my match.
Oh. Who are you up against?
Seawolf.
Good luck.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my best. Try to get myself into the 2-1, save myself, get myself into at least the race off. I'd love to make it into the bracket stage in that race. Makes up for my 0-4, and Dan falls off against Smoldren.
No.
Moldorm with the butter sword just takes 2 slashes.
And he's down, and we'll see. Was he starting to think about hovering?
He usually pretends to hover.
And he opens up the final chest of the game, which had a heart container in it, because you need 17 hearts for Ganon.
He's looking pretty healthy right now.
I'd like throw those hearts on the floor outside on the ring and Ganon and stand on them so I didn't fall off. That's what you do.
That was crazy.
Yeah, we were worried that you were about to fall off during that fight.
That was extremely stupid too.
Bug catching that strat's here for Dan.
Nice.
And he misses.
Might as well. He knows. We'll have some fun with it.
Yeah, it might as well. Well, he's got a perfect setup for what would be a triple, but he's using bug catching that, which is not going to allow him to do a triple.
Yeah, getting more than 1 hit with the bug catching net in a phase is actually really difficult.
Right now, he's lucky if he can get 1 hit. Okay, he just took some sword slashes at the Ganon here, or rather Aghanim, and he gets him down. So before Dan finishes off this race, is there anyone you want to thank for your tournament experience, Myria?
The announcers. Yeah, all the runners and announcers and everybody watching. And it's amazing that we are able to get like 2,000 people watching us.
You had 3,000 tonight.
We peaked at like 3,100 or something for this race.
Oh.
Wowee.
Amazing numbers for this tournament, by the way. And Dan going up against Ganon. He's not doing any sort of magic cape strats, just slashing him with butter sword. And going to the hook shot. That's the standard practice here. And
it only takes 6 slashes per phase, so Dan, little overkill on Ganon.
I just want some extra crispy bacon. And over the corner, did you get the Silver Arrows and Turtle Rock? Well, you made it way too easy to get it for these runners.
The pattern you go through Turtle Rock, you're pretty much almost always going to open that chest. Not always, because
Yeah, there's not
Number
really
of
any
keys you
reason.
need.
Yeah, there's not really any situation where you wouldn't open it.
Absolutely.
Nice, got the fire rod torch there.
And down goes Ganon. And can we get some GGs down in this chat?
Dan finishing with the SRL time of 1:45.18.
So a very good race between these three players. You know, it's just a lot of fun to be able to watch this, especially when the big "where in the world could this ice rod be?" turned out to be. And welcome Dan to the post-race interview, and tell me your thoughts about this run.
What in the hell was that beginning? There was like every item under the sun. And then damn that ocarina. That's it. I thought with Myria in the middle there'd be some leeway, but in this three-way there was not.
Yeah, that played a huge part.
Yeah, absolutely.
Behind.
Yeah, I figured once I saw Eunos finish, I was like, yeah, he had to have gotten the ocarina the first time going up there, and then that would have told him to be in go mode quicker, as far as being able to do Mire and so forth.
Yeah, that would not be a place to leave behind an item. I feel good.
It was definitely a little rough just because you kind of went through Death Mountain backwards, I guess. Went straight to the east side and then did Hera and then didn't have the sword upgrade when you're already up there and got the sword and just save and quit.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was gonna head up there, but then I went to go to Spike Cave and realized I didn't have the hammer. So that's when I completely forgot about the tablet. And I just figured, okay, well hopefully there's nothing of too much importance in there, but yeah.
It turned out it had the flu.
Yeah, well, yeah, it happens.
Yeah, it was a fun race. It was really interesting to see everyone's different routes at the beginning, given all of the items. Eunos went straight to Dark World Kakariko. You and Myria both went straight up to Death Mountain, did different routes. It was a lot of fun to commentate.
This was the kind of race here that showed off how routing sometimes could make an importance in these kind of seeds when you're given so many options.
Yeah, for sure. I would say this is one of the few seeds where you have literally pretty much the whole game to choose where you want to go right off the beat within the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was just amazing that at the 20-minute mark, we knew where everything was except for Bombos, Fire Rod, and Ice Rod, and then Myria found the Fire Rod first.
Yeah.
Yep, Dan actually had Fire Rod before Eunos as well.
Yeah, the one item that going to the Dark World first should have shown you guys was not shown by me.
What was Fire Rod? I forget.
Digging game.
It was Digging Game.
Oh, okay. So, wow, so Eunos didn't have that until right before Ganon's Tower.
No, I made a routing mistake. I usually do the digging game as one, right as I leave the village, I go and do the digging before I do the blacksmith. And I forgot to do it. I didn't forget that long, but I skipped it.
Did Eunos or Dan ever go into a pendant dungeon?
Oh.
No.
Yeah, don't.
Well, Dan
did.
did. Dan went into Thieves Town.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what made you go into Thieves Town, Dan?
Because of those first 4 chests, I was thinking, I was gambling. At that point, I needed. I still didn't have the ocarina, the ice rod. I think that was it, and I had everything to just kind of go through it. And I was like, after I got the first 4 chests and it was big key, map, compass. I was like, crap, I might as well just knock through it because that means there's 3 items between here and the end at least. So, yeah, it didn't pay off.
And one of the other things that was amazing about this run, and Dan, you didn't know this, but Eunos opted to go right in Ganon's.
Well, and and when he finished quick, I was like, okay, so my guess is that Turtle Rock has the big key and the keys you need quick, and then I was like, Ganon's probably quick, so chances are he didn't go right. Because why? So. But yeah, I knew that when we had everything within such a quick amount of time, this was going to be a fast race.
And you guys gave us quite a great run here for what a seed just gave everything to you guys early on. Unfortunately, with this, you're now out of the tournament. Dan, you want to have any thoughts as you exit this tournament?
I think it was pretty dang awesome. I mean, I just picked up Link to the Past back at January and started doing randomizers after I signed up for the tournament. So I thought it was really cool. Just in general, all the effort put in by everybody that puts these things together and put together the randomizer and everything. You can see most of their names here on the screen right now. But it was really cool. It was a great experience.
I do want to ask, and this is going out to anyone who's here in this call right now. What's your thoughts about the fact that we had a 51-person weekly race on Saturday?
That's awesome.
Just shows you how much people have grown to enjoy this game, and it's a lot of fun. Thank you guys for joining us once again. Let's give it up for all three of our runners, Eunos, Myria, and Dan. Great job by all three of you. Congratulations to Eunos. You're going on to the brackets.
Thanks.
Congrats, man. GG, Myria.
Congrats, everyone.
Talk to you guys later.
See you, Dan.
All right, with that, we're going to be wrapping things up here for the Link to the Past randomizer for today. We've got 3 races on the agenda for tomorrow. Jet 082 against the Sabin. It's going to be at 8 o'clock Eastern tomorrow here on Speed Gaming. Then at 9 o'clock, Stravaris going up against Radioactive Rat. That's at 9 o'clock Eastern. Restream is not certain at this point. Might end up on Speed Gaming 2. We'll let you know at some point in time. And then Jay Cooper against Dodecahedron at 11:30 p.m. Eastern right here on Speed Gaming. So some great races still on the way as we finish up the group stage this week.
Yep, and then bracket stage will be starting pretty soon, which is 42-person bracket, single elimination, best of 3 matches. So a lot more randomizer content for you guys.
So stay tuned for a lot of that. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to let Andy take us out of here. I'm Adirondack Rick. Have yourselves a good evening.
It's a lot of fun. Hope you all enjoyed it, and we will see you back here tomorrow for some more races. Be sure to give all the runners a follow. Shout outs to Feasel and Dark Magician, everyone that works behind the scenes. I'll see you all later.